I received an email from the laboratory technicians at the Health Services Authority. They often have to work late into the night to produce the genomic sequencing evidence because the machines take an awfully long time to run and they have to be around to keep an eye on them. This time the sequencing results that came through showed that we have got 2 people who have had the Delta variant who actually came in from Miami. It's really been a matter of time that I've been waiting for this to happen. I think I've previously explained, but I'll perhaps explain again, that we don't sequence all of the samples, positive samples that we receive, because we're not able to do that. They need to have a certain concentration of virus, or else the machine will just say that it failed and it didn't get to the end of the sequence. And this is in line with many other laboratories in the world, including the Porton Down laboratory, the big public health laboratory in the UK, as well as CARFA in Trinidad and in Barbados. So the arrival of the Delta variant doesn't mean that it hasn't been here before. It's just the fact that this is the first time we've been able to confirm the presence of it. I'm sure we've had people with that before, as it is seeded around the world. Obviously, it's disappointing to learn that both of these people were vaccinated by the Health Services Authority earlier in the year. They had completed their course of the Pfizer vaccine. Both of them are doing well. One of them has no symptoms and one of them has very few symptoms. As far as vaccination is concerned, I think we should be reassured to know that the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine that we've been providing here in Cayman through the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office is 88% protective against the Delta variant, as opposed to 95% that we all know for the original variants from Wuhan, and then thereafter from the Alpha variant from Kent as well. So we have exceedingly good protection from infection, and also we know that all of the variants that we've so far discovered, when you have a good vaccine on board, the likelihood of you having a serious outcome such as an admission to hospital or a death is exceedingly small. So the vaccines continue to give us very strong protection against all of the different variants. But it does also show how really important it is for you to come forward. I don't wish to overly worry people, but around the world we're hearing stories where people have been admitted to hospital with the virus and they suddenly realize how very serious it can be when you get sick with the virus, and they've been asking for the vaccine when they've been admitted. But of course, at the time that you have an infection, there would be no benefit to taking the vaccine. So you do really need to take the vaccine as soon as you can in order to get the protection from it should the virus come into our community. We're also moving down a path of reopening the borders, and at each step there is a slightly increased risk of the virus coming here, but we're accepting that risk knowing that we have a very high percentage of vaccination. But the higher we can get it and the more people we can get vaccinated, the more protection we have as a community, and that's what we really want. We don't want to see anybody admitted to hospital with serious illnesses as a result of the virus, and the vaccine will protect us against a large portion of that. The Delta variant really brings quite similar symptoms to all of the other variants, which are predominantly lung-based illness when it first presents. But the other worry that we continually advise people about is the possibility of long COVID, where multiple systems in your body can be affected by the virus, which will make you have lethargy and weakness and ongoing shortness of breath. And sometimes these symptoms have been permanent in some people because it's ended up that they've developed lung scarring from COVID. And it's often not the people who are actually worse affected by COVID. It can often be people who are relatively mildly affected who go on to develop these long symptoms, which will cause quite a significant health burden going forward as the years come forward. That's yet another reason to please come forward and take the vaccine. We remain relatively well protected at the minute. We continue to test everybody as they're coming out of quarantine. And so I feel comfortable that the people that are in quarantine are protected, the public is protected from those people when they have infections now. But as we move forward, there is an increasing likelihood that we may have some sort of community escape of this disease. It's really good news today that we've reached 70% of the people vaccinated in Cayman, so that is really good protection. And also, in addition to that, we're at 80% of those over 12 years old who've been vaccinated with the first dose. For those that have had the second dose, it's not 70% but 66%, so we're doing really well, but we really want to improve those numbers in order for us all to protect ourselves, and then we will know that we are protected from serious illness and the serious consequences that this virus can bring.